Okay, hopefully this will work. Hopefully this will work. I hope. Question mark. Okay. 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 We'll wait here for just a few more people to come on in. It should be okay. All right. Hello. How are you, Sam? You're okay? That's great. That's great. I'm very happy to hear that. You have a good weekend? Today is a nice short lesson today. A little bit. Okay. Okay. I know that everybody's kind of anticipating tomorrow. Everybody's kind of anticipating tomorrow the election results there. So we'll see what happens. Stuff will happen. It's a thing. I'm sure there'll be a lot of voters tomorrow coming out to the polls and stuff. So it's kind of interesting actually. This election is going to be nuts. Absolutely bananas. So it's already been bananas, but well, I guess more bananas. We all need more bananas in our lives. That's important. let's see if there's anybody else who's going to come in the next few minutes. So usually like Neon shows up and other guys. So anybody else there in the chat, just make yourself known. So we'll probably get going here in a couple minutes then. Oh, you've been here for 3 minutes? Well, then I was wrong. Well then, proved me wrong. All right. No problems here, my dude. No problems here. Excellent. I'm plenty happy about that. I see Fernando's in the building. Very good. Very good. All right. Andy's in the building as well. All right. So, let's go ahead. If you guys are ready to get started, it'll be a nice, short, simple lesson here today. So we're gonna go ahead and get going here, and shouldn't take us too long to get through this section here. I think that'll be just fine. Just as a reminder, everybody, again, tomorrow is election day, so if you haven't voted, go ahead and vote after this class is over, and get it done so you don't have to face the long lines tomorrow. So if you have voted, great, that's wonderful. So, and may the best candidate win. Is basically the way it's going to be. So, all right. So, let's do this. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Monday. Hopefully, a nice weekend. So, today, we are doing something super simple. All right, very super simple. All right, that's the goal here for today. Doing simple things with simple things. Maybe not simple people, but simple things. Simple things. So let's go ahead and do section 8.3. And today we're covering simple interest. That's our simple for today. So what exactly is simple interest? Simple interest is if you like gave a loan to somebody and you said, hey, can you pay me X amount of interest back? Maybe you give them a percentage, maybe you give an amount. You say, hey, I'm gonna loan you $1,000, but you can pay me back $1,100, once you got the money or whatever. So it's the same idea here. So simple interest is interest. Again, you can figure out interest here is equal to the principal times the rate. This interest rate is in decimal. Oops. And then times time. Okay. Now, there's a few things that we'll need to discuss here, of course, with this is the regular interest, kind of formula here, calculating the simple interest. Now, one thing, and we'll have to discuss each part here. So let's talk about principal here first. Okay, so principal here is the amount of money you borrow or deposit. So when we talk about principal here, which we'll mention here a few times here in this lesson, and of course the next section as well, yeah, principal is going to be a pretty big thing. Okay, we'll also mention probably later on too. Rate is just exactly as it stands, the interest rate that is stated. Okay, so typically there's an interest rate. If we have to say pay back to a bank or something like that, they're going to charge us a little bit of extra interest and to say, hey, go, hey, you got to give me some money back. Like, that's cool. Okay, no problem. And then finally, the important part here is actually time. Time is actually a little bit different here. Hey, Rock, how are you, my friend? time here is actually a little bit different. Time here is time in years. So this is going to be one of the most important things because the context isn't just like any set of time. It's actually time in years, typically with interest here. Um, because sometimes if you're saying like let's say you're paying off a car loan or something, that's usually in years by the time you pay off say a new car or something to that effect. Okay, so time in years here is going to be actually pretty important. All right, so okay, got it, Rock. It's a joke. It's a joke. He says I can't. It says I can't speak. I can't speak Chinese. I use Google Translate because that's what I got from Google Translate. That's pretty funny. All right, I give you props for that one. That's pretty good. I can only speak, like ni hao and shay shay. China's pretty cool though. Mandarin for the win. All right. Now, let's go over some problems here about how we can calculate, say, simple interest with the whole account. So let's say we were trying to calculate, we also want to put here, let's say we want to calculate a future value with simple interest. So this is going to be the formula here. The formula that I'm going to state here is going to be the formula we're going to be using in this section here. And most of it's going to reflect what we have up above. But let's go ahead and write it down here. Not underline, please. So this is our formula here. A equals P times 1 plus RT. Let's talk about what each of the letters mean. A is going to be the ending amount or future value slash future value. That's where you get the future value part from. P is our principal. So just like we talked about above. R is the interest rate in decimal. And T, once again, is time in years. Okay, so we're going to basically use some of these guys here in order to solve for, certain problems, especially if you say borrow money or things like that. So you can, let's go ahead and take a look at several problems, several examples here using this formula right here to get our results. So we're going to put this on one side and we're going to go ahead and put the paint tool out. Okay, paint tool's not here. Let's put the paint tool here. All right. Alrighty. So here we're back at the paint tool, and let's go ahead and take a look here and see what we get here for our problems. Okay, let's turn that off. Okay, that's fine. We'll go with this. All right. All right. So let's go with, I'm going to use one of the examples we have here first of all. So let's say P here is equal to, let's say we borrow $4,000. Okay, let's say our interest rate here is 6%. Okay, so not very good. And let's say our time T here, let's just change our time T here to be 3 years. So 3 years of paying back this quote unquote loan or whatever. Okay, so if we go with this here and say, hey, how much are we paying after the end of the 3 years with this particular loan? Well, let's find out. So A equals, not 3,000, 4,000, my fault. So A equals 4,000, and then we're going to have that times 1 plus, how do we write 6%? How do we write 6% here? So 6% equals what as a decimal? What's 6% as a decimal? All right, very good. 0.06. All right, and then we have our time t here in years, which is 3. So again, you can enter this in straight up in the calculator. This one here is actually pretty doable. So again, you get 4,000 times 1 plus 0.06 times 3, and then close the parentheses. So then here we get 4720 here as our final answer, putting this all together. So what we have here is, again, we got 4720 minus 4,000. And then basically we'll have $720 in interest total. So if you want to figure out how much interest that you have, well, you can do it this way as well by finding your amount there. That looks pretty terrible, so let's put that here. Okay, so yeah, if you just take a look at that right there, again, $720 of interest. So if you want to split that up into 2 parts, if that's what the question asks you on the homework, then you know what that's referring to at the end of the day. All right. All right, let's go ahead and try another one here. This time, I'm going to change it up just a little bit. So this one here is kind of like a question here that I guess I can phrase to you. All right, so really quick here for everyone here in the chat. How many people have, like, when when you're driving, how many people have seen those check into cash places or title loans or things like that? Has anybody seen those type of places before? Like a Title Max or something like that? Yes or no? Have you guys seen that before? I'm not sure if you guys have seen the check into cash places. Yeah? So sometimes they'll just say Title Max or something like that, Sam. And they'll be like, hey, if there's one of those, you trade in your car title to get, the money right away. So, I mean, for example, that's what they do. It's like, hey, give me your car title. I'm going to hold on to it, but in exchange, I'm going to give you this cash right now as collateral. So it's like, okay, fine. And so people get that because, sometimes they're a little bit, hard up for money because maybe they have an unexpected bill. They could have, say, a car payment to make. They could have a car repair. They could have a medical bill. They could have, anything can really happen about why you need the money. But let's go off this premise here. So those title places, Let's talk about exactly how much they could charge you in interest and whatnot at one of those title places. So, let's say, for example, here we wanted to borrow. I went into one of those places. And let's say I wanted to borrow, let's say $1,100. Okay, maybe that's what we want to borrow, right? Now they turn around and they say, okay, if you want to borrow $1,100, all right, yeah, sign these papers and stuff. But of course, you got to pay us back a little bit too. So it's like, okay, that's fair, man. I'll pay you back. So we got to pay back. So we got to pay these places back. We got to pay them back, $1,300. Okay, so it's like you want this money now. You got to give up, say, the title to your car. Or you got to give some collateral here, and you just pay back the $200. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. No problem. Okay, give us $200 extra, and then that's our profit there, and then we'll call it even Stevens. Okay, now let's just say they gave you a time frame. Like, all right, hey, in this contract, okay, this basically says, you know what, we're going to give you some time for this because it's going to take you a little time to come up with $1,300, and that's fair. So they give you a time here that says we're going to give you 2 months. Okay, so you collect your savings from 2 months worth of your checks, and you can pay back the $1,300 that you took out, because you had a sudden bill or whatever. Fine. So 2 months. Let's take a look at what happens here using the simple interest formula. Okay, now in this case here, our A here in this instance is how much we have to pay back. So that's going to be $1,300. And our actual principal here will be the $1,100 that we borrowed from these places. So that's fine. So let's go ahead and put this in here. We have 1,300 equals 1,100 times 1 plus R. Now, what do you think we should put for T here? That's the important part. What goes in for T? What number for T here? What number for T should I put in there? Value for T. What's our value for time? The question's right above you, my dude. What value for T should we put in? Well, I have 2 months. 2 months is my time frame. I have to pay this back in 2 months. Time is in years, that's correct. Yes, Sam. Time is in years. So how could I represent 2 months in time in years? How could I do that? How can I represent 2 months in the time of years? This is where this part is important because the context you're forced to use time in years. That's right. So you don't have a choice in that matter. That part's fine. So the way we actually express this is, and that's okay if you guys didn't get it, that's not a problem. The way we want to express this is that we want to use another context. Since it's 2 months, then 2 over 12 would work. So 2 over 12 is actually how we can write out 2 months. 2 months out of 12 months in the year, that's how we can write 2 months in terms of a year. Okay, so 2 over 12. So right now as it stands, we have 1,300 equals 1,100. Let's go ahead and distribute this 1,100 here. Plus, let's see, 2,200 over 12. Okay. So we're going to get 550 over 3. R. Okay, so this is what we have here so far. Okay, next, let's go ahead and solve for R here. So we're going to subtract by 1,100. So we're going to have 200 here equals 550 over 3 R. Okay, we're going to go ahead and divide by 550 over 3. And then you need to do that on a calculator, of course. So 200 divided by 550 over 3. Anybody got an answer for me here? What's the answer for R in this case? What the? Oh, that was weird. Okay. You have 200 divided by 550 over 3. What's 200 divided by 550 over 3? Come on, guys, I need your help. Ooh. Anybody have an answer for me here? Sam, Neon, Fernando, Andy? All right, guys, I'm going to wait here until we get an answer. This is supposed to be a short section, so, I mean, we can wait a little while, so that's fine. 0.12? 0.12, let's check that. That's pretty close. Almost, not quite though. Remember to put 550 over 3 in parentheses. That way it's not doing 200 divided by a 550 divided by 3. All right, I'll wait for the answer here. I know I'm making it string out 1.09. Okay, good, good. All right, good. 1.09 is correct. Good. All right. Now, remember, R is the interest rate, right? You set that a while ago. Oh, well, it just got here. Oh. maybe it's a lag, so sorry about that. Um, okay. Yeah, the stream is a tad bit delayed. That's true. That is true. Okay. Though it shouldn't have taken that long, honestly. All right. So 1.09. Now remember, 1.09 is the interest rate in decimal. What would this be as a percentage? What would 1.09 be as a percentage? What would 1.09 be as a percentage? All right. All right. Probably sent that there, but not sure why it's taken a while to get over, but yeah, all right. So 109%. All right. So basically, let's put it this way. You will get charged for paying back that $200, and on surface level, it doesn't seem like it's that, that much. But when you actually look at it, you actually pay back 109% interest on that tiny loan. 109% interest. That's how these places pretty much get you. They get you desperate enough to go ahead and sign a contract where you'll be charged over 100% interest in order to take those title loans or whatnot. This is what we call predatory lending. Okay, so you should probably, again, this is one of those things where I say, hey, you should never walk into one of those places. One of those check into cash places, Title Max places. Never go to any one of those. You will, that is a sucker's bet. You're going to end up more in debt to them than the intended amount that you wanted to loan out. It's a lot. You're going to certainly hurt in the end if you decide to go into one of those places. So you just have to be a little bit extra careful there. All right. Thus, and I wanted to show off months as well and how that works. All right. And how we can find interest. So that's always important. Okay. Our interest rate, yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look here at one more type of question here. And then we'll be okay. All right. So this one's not too hard, but yeah, let's go ahead and met it out. So let's take a good look here. Let's say we have an ending amount here of, let's call it $6,000. So we have an ending amount of $6,000. I mean, that's our financial goal, for example. We put it in some type of, interest account. So that's fair. Let's say our interest rate here is going to be 4.25%. And our time t here, let's say that's exactly 10 years. Okay, so we have a 10 year, say, kind of maybe a 10-year plan that we want to be sure that, okay, if we deposit some money today, that it'll be $6,000 after 10 years with a 4.25%, pardon me, interest rate. So once again, we're going to use our formula that we see here, and we're going to start filling in the blanks here. So 6,000 equals P, because we're trying to find the principal. How much did we deposit, say, at the beginning once we went ahead and did this? So P here is going to equal 1 plus 0.425, which is 0.0425. And then we're going to multiply this by 10, okay? So let's see what we get here on the inside of these parentheses. That's kind of important. So we get P here times 1 plus 0.0425. So let's do that. 1 plus 0.0425 times 10. So here we get 1.425. All right, we'll divide by 1.425. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at what we get here. So we'll take 6,000 divided by that. And so the amount of money we have to deposit to get to our $6,000 goal is going to be 4210.53. So $4,210.53 is how much we'll need to deposit now in order to get $6,000 in 10 years. Okay, so that's again, if you have a financial goal in mind, all right, then that's also useful for that situation as well. Okay. All right. Any questions about any of those examples? Don't forget, simple interest also works when you're pawning things as well. If you want to get your thing back from the pawn shop, then it also works off of simple interest. Any questions whatsoever? Niet, he says. Niet. All right. Very good, very good. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right, so those are the examples I kind of want to show off because all the other examples are pretty much the same thing, just in a word problem case. Really, not really a super crazy here. Pretty much exactly what I set out to do. Yeah. All right. All right. If there are no more questions here, that is pretty much the end of the section here for today. I told you it was going to be a pretty short day, but we can do one section at a time. So we're in the driver's seat here for the most part. All right. So that is the lesson for today. And next time we will be going over section 8.4, which is compound interest. I told you it was going to be short. There's not a lot in this section outside of just that. So, floor getting out. Truth. All right. Okay, so again, if you want to keep up with the homework here, section 8.3 is what we went over here today. In the meantime, though, I want to thank you all very much for coming on out here to the stream once again. I know it's a short stream here for today's lesson, but still, nevertheless, very important, getting simple interest out of the way. We're going to be taking a look at a much more detailed version of compound interest for next time. So that will definitely involve a whole lot more than just what we just did here today. All right. But I want you guys to enjoy yourself today. Again, go out and vote if you haven't voted already. Um, Just to have a nice chill afternoon. All right, and then we'll get to the real stuff on Wednesday. Okay. All right. All right. All right, everybody. I hope you all have a very wonderful. You still have to finish the test, then finish the test. That's fine. Finish the test. That's important. Make sure that the test takes priority over everything else. So do the test, and then you'll still have a chance to get caught up without too much trouble, since we're going pretty slow. All right, cool. Okay, great job, everybody here today. Everybody enjoy your afternoon. All right, take care of yourself, and I will see you all later. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you later. All right.